Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wingcat Sports. A little Michigan news late to it, but we haven't been really be able to talk about it.
Yeah,
Harbaugh is gone from Michigan. He will not be coaching there next year. He went to LA, and now we have the obvious candidate. I thought that was going to take over anyway and more.
I think we kind of thought this was a great year for him to move on. We hoped he would stay, but with all the NCAA issues and we don't know exactly what pushed him. He's also a very ego-driven guy. He wired differently. Not, I mean, he could be a god in Michigan if he wanted, but that's not enough for him. He has to try that new challenge. Some people are wired that way. So I mean, he moved on to San Diego. He'll have a good quarterback there, and we'll see. He's from that area, so
He also played for the Chargers at one point.
yep.
So going back to one of his old teams, I thought if he went to any old team, it was going to end up being Chicago. But I think it did come down to the fact of the NCAA just being on him so much that he didn't want to be there. Plus, the driven to potentially go win another Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl once and didn't get it because his brother took it from him. But he'll have his opportunity at a Super Bowl. I don't know if he'll win it with the Chargers with KC in there, and then you got Sean Payton in Denver playing well, and even the Raiders under their new head coach have been playing well. So I don't know how that division's going to go. That's going to be a tough division for him to win in to begin with. But he can at least start building something there. He'll have the ability. He has a QB he likes in Herbert. And honestly, we'll see how it goes. When it comes to the Michigan side of things, is Moore going to be a good enough coach to get you back into the playoffs? It's 12 teams this year, so it's a little bit easier, but is he going to get you there?
I mean, people got to be realistic here. He's not going to recruit like Harbaugh would. That was the big thing with Harbaugh is he could just sit back and people would come to him. After winning a national championship, he could have had anybody he wanted pretty much. They would flock to him. That ain't going to be the case with Moore. I don't. We're still to see. I expect like a 3 to 4 loss season next year.
Yeah.
I think you're going to take a couple steps back. Uh, Hopefully not too much, but it won't be the same. But we won our national championship, and I guess we should be happy about that. And we are. But I think it's, like I said, we reached the mountaintop,
Yep.
and now we're back in the foothills again, trying to claw our way up. So we'll see.
And they're going to have the easiest schedule, but more you can also make a case that he led the team through three top 10 teams. He beat Penn State. He beat Ohio State. He was the head coach during that. Yeah, sure, Harbaugh coached them during the week, but he had to be the game manager during the game.
Right. I'm
And
not worried about his coaching. I'm not worried about his ability to coach the team. What I'm worried about is just him being able to draw top talent to the school. Like I said, Harbaugh could just sit there and they're going to come to us. They aren't going to do that with, more.
yeah,
And you got to have talent. You could be the greatest coach in the world if you don't have the players. And Harbaugh didn't have the players the first few years he was here, and he did okay.
and he will be tested. This is probably the toughest schedule Michigan has had in a while
Yeah.
coming in. So his first year is going to be a
fun.
test.
I'm trying to take a new attitude, a whole new thing. It'll be fun to watch, but I don't have any giant expectations.
Yeah.
I think it's really good that Michigan State looks like they're back on track. They'll be a couple years away maybe, but with this, this portal and the NIL, if you do it right, you can turn your program around pretty quick.
Yes, you can. I mean,
So I'm looking forward to football in this state. I mean, I like the Spartans as much too, and it'll be a fun rivalry. We didn't go to the school, so we don't have to cheer for
no.
one or the other. That's just personal preference. So I'm happy for both these schools. I hope it'll be fun. I mean, like I said, it's not good, but don't expect a national championship out of Michigan next year, or even they may not even be in the top 12.
Because the top 12 teams make it. They
may not be there.
Their ranked opponents at the moment are Texas, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State. They get a year off from Penn State, but still, there's a lot of difficult games. You kind of go back and forth. You kind of go back and forth. Though you play Fresno State, then you play Texas, then you play Arkansas State, then you play USC. Then you play Minnesota. Then you play Washington. Bye week, Illinois, Michigan State, Oregon. And then you play Indiana. You have another bye week,
Honestly,
Northwestern, then Ohio State. So
like
you
I
get
said,
it
I don't
back
even
and
know who
forth.
you were saying their quarterback's going to be. That one kid,
You're probably the one that was playing in the playoffs, Orgy.
Orgy. That'll be a fun name to use.
I would assume that's who
That's
they
a
got.
good
I don't know who else they got really. There hasn't been much talk about.
Orgy scores.
There's a lot of QB
That'll be
prospects
fun.
they have, but that was the guy who was playing
Well, great.
out of Wildcat.
I don't know nothing about him. I don't
I don't know
zero,
nothing
and
about
I
him. I
don't know how
don't.
many people they're losing. They're going to lose to the portal with Harbaugh going. I have no
I
idea
think
what
that
their team is going to look like.
there's a lot to at the moment see what's going to happen. It's a lot of question marks because right now there are at least if you think you're going to beat Texas, Oregon, and Ohio State all in the same year,
Right.
that's
I'm not going to
not
worry about
easy.
that. I mean, I don't. All they have to do is get to the playoffs, but that ain't probably going to happen next year. That's probably. I think we need to step back, enjoy the fact that we won a national championship, and give
Hmm.
Moore a couple years to get his program together. Um,
And
Before we start making any big judgments on it or anything else. It's maybe Michigan State, Michigan will actually be a good game this year.
maybe, and that's what
I
I'm
hope
saying.
so.
The other things
I hope. I
you got
want
to
it. I
look
want
at
good football.
the NCAA. There's always teams that they don't count on in the beginning of the year. USC could be a good team next year
Yeah. Why don't we talk about the Spartans more?
because I don't pay attention to Michigan State as
Well,
much
let's
as
pay
Michigan.
attention to them,
But
man. That's not fair.
that's Uncle Ed's.
I like the Spartans.
That's Uncle Ed's
We're a sports thing. You
forte.
can't just be about the Wolverines. They
Uh,
hired Jim Smith. Is the guy's name?
yeah,
He's out of Washington
a lot of the
State.
guys from Washington State too came over with
Right.
him,
They had a
and they
quarterback,
have
and they're looking like they're going to be. I kind of like what I'm
the,
hearing.
they're
The
going to
only problem with Jim Smith is he seems to
be.
have no clue at all about anything about our state at all,
I don't think
any of
he's
the
from here.
rivalries. And it sounds like he's going to jump ship as soon as he has any success and there's a bigger opportunity. He has
Probably
no loyalty to the Spartans. It sounds like
would
at
not be
all. Not
surprised.
any joy.
I
in
mean,
coaching.
he jumped ship from Oregon State.
Well, right. I
Who
mean,
was
he wasn't the
who
coach, right?
he was
He was the coach.
he was the head
Okay, yeah, all right.
coach.
He's the head
He got
coach.
Oregon State into a
Well, so if you have any success and anybody offers him anything at a more reputable program or at a bigger school, he's going to jump ship.
I'll tell you. Hold on, I'm gonna
That's
tell you.
kind of I don't. That's the only problem I have with Michigan State. With this guy, so far he seems like he's going to be okay, but he has no problem taking off. I don't care if it's next year if someone offers him a better deal.
He got him to be a ranked team, and I think it's because they weren't able to keep him. Well, they weren't able to keep the Pac-12 together. That he jumped ship basically.
Right.
So he got him to where
Well,
did he get
right.
him
This
to?
guy looks like an opportunist. And I'm not saying that's necessarily bad. I don't know that for a fact or anything. I'm not trying to make anything disparaging comments on him, but he looks like a guy that's going to take off as soon as he gets a chance. And as soon as he has a better opportunity opening up, he does not, it's not like Harbaugh stayed 9 years. You can get 9 years out of your coach. Yeah, if you can get 5 years out of your coach, you get 5 years out of this Jim Smith character. He sounds like a good coach, just doesn't sound like a guy who's going to stick around very long.
Yeah, he got Oregon State, and I think they fell, or at least where I think they fell off. But they were ranked for most of the year until at least the end of the year. They were sitting like in that 15 spot. They were in a good spot, and Oregon State's not a big school. It's not a big program to go work off of. And he's gonna. I would not be surprised if they're going to be better this year. They probably will not be as good as they have been, but we will see what ends up happening for them because anything can happen. And they might be good this year. That's why I don't think Michigan's schedule is going to be necessarily easy because I could see USC being better. I could see Minnesota being
Oh
better.
yeah. Well, they're going
Illinois,
to lose. They're going to lose their quarterback, USC.
yeah,
So I mean, I don't know if they're going to be better.
I know
They'll be good. I mean, certainly more fun to watch than what we have.
Illinois hasn't been terrible as they usually are. They've been playing a little bit better.
Yeah,
They haven't been great.
What's Michigan State's schedule?
And
We haven't even talked about that.
and Michigan State could be better. Indiana has slightly gotten better, but they're no big team. They'll probably beat them, but there's a few
I'm
teams
gonna
that
root for State this year because
that
man, they've had such bad luck, and
but
they got if they wear their white helmets, I'll be right there with them, man. I hope that they I love those white helmets, and they should wear what the Sparty guy on it
you
too.
want the old Sparty
Yeah,
guy
they
on
should
there.
have
Oh,
that on the white helmet with the Sparty guy or the Spartan. Man, they have some of the coolest. I hate those newfangled shiny ones, the gold helmets
they
and
have some
crap like
ugly.
that.
Michigan State has some ugly
Black
uniforms.
jerseys. Ugh. They
So
have great choices.
Michigan State also is not going to sit the prettiest throughout the year, but they're going to start against Florida Atlantic, and then they go to Maryland. Then
Okay.
they play Boston College.
Yeah.
So that could be a 3-0 start if they play right.
Right.
Maryland's a good team, though. I could see
Right.
at least they're going to start 2-1. At least they should. Then you play Ohio State early on in the year.
Okay.
And they actually play Ohio State and Oregon back to back.
That's
so,
tough.
so that's not easy for them. Then they got a bye week. They play Iowa and then Michigan. So the two other ranked
tough
teams.
in a row. Okay.
And then they got Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers. They don't even play Penn State next year.
So they end up with 3 softies.
Then so
they could split that middle part of the schedule and do well on the ends. They could be at least a 7-8 win team.
They might be depending on how they are. They could give Iowa a game, but I don't know about Ohio State and Oregon. They could beat Michigan. They could beat Michigan. It is possible.
I think Michigan's certainly going to have a down year.
But
I don't know how you can have a down year from a national championship and your coach, your high profile coach leaves. A lot of big names are leaving. They got to build that program back up, and Moore's got to show he can do the job. I have faith in his coaching abilities. It's just, can he bring in the talent?
I'm just surprised that Michigan State's not playing Penn State because I thought they were rivals.
Michigan State playing Penn State?
Penn State. I thought they were rivals.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're not playing each other at the end of the year. They're playing Rutgers.
Why don't we ever play Notre Dame anymore, man?
Because they're independent and they're snooty. And they don't want to do nothing.
And I hate them. We should be
actually
playing them
I believe
year. We are going to play them, I think, in 2025.
Yes, hold on. Let me get back to it.
We should. I mean, those are fun games. It's supposed to be entertainment. Give us some games that we want to see.
There's the return of Notre Dame is not in 2025. When's the return of Notre Dame at Michigan?
Oh, well.
Don't worry about it. It's going to happen.
Them.
I know it's going to happen eventually.
I can't stand. I used to love Notre Dame, but man.
The return of Notre Dame versus Michigan.
So elitist. They think they're better than everybody
won't be
else.
For a while, if I remember correctly.
Team. They're not Jesus' team. He doesn't even like them anymore.
Dad's getting angry. Oh, 2020. They only got one on 20. Where are they at? I know they're somewhere. I think it's 2033.
What?
It's the next time Notre Dame is scheduled against Michigan.
2033?
2033.
I'll be dead by then. No, it ain't gonna matter.
You got 2020, 2033, and 2034. It's the next time Notre Dame is on Michigan's schedule. And many years from now.
Yeah.
So
can't wait.
And it might happen before
then. Maybe we can play them in the playoffs.
It might happen before then, and they might get scheduled in the regular season before then. It's not guaranteed. There's nobody actually technically scheduled past.
I burned my Kelly Tripucka jersey.
There's nobody really scheduled past 2025 for the most part, or even 2025. Past 2026, I think is when the small amount of teams are scheduled.
Okay, we don't have to worry about it. I was just thinking.
Notre Dame will not be playing Michigan for a while unless they decide to come up with an agreement. But Harbaugh's gone. Michigan's not going to probably be as good. Michigan State could be better. Overall, it's going to be an interesting college season.
Sherman Moore?
Yeah. Something like that. Or something around there.
I think
Jerome. I think it's Jerome.
Sharon. Okay, that's better. Sherman, I think of that. What is that? That Mr. Peabody. Something like that. But
I mean, I think he'll do well. I
think he's going to do well, but he's not going to. I just don't think he's going to have the players at first that are coming to him. I have no idea what Michigan's going to look like next year, player-wise. You got to have players.
So far, there's been no news of anybody leaving, but also I don't pay attention to college football as much because I don't have the time as much. But nothing major has happened. Just it's going to be an interesting college football season next year. between everything happening.
All
With
right.
all that being said, though, if you like what you see,
We got into
like, comment,
college hockey. We
subscribe.
got to get into college hockey too.
College
We don't
hockey. I
watch
don't
enough
got time
college
for all
hockey.
this.
College
I
hockey.
work too much. With all that being said, though, if you like what you see, right? Like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Until next time, hope to see everybody soon.